reports of killings every other day. Sometimes it is the police and sometimes it is the criminals. A state notorious, where over 6,000 encounters have taken place in the last 3 years. A state where illegal gun factories have been caught on camera. A state that seems to have a dangerous gun culture. Is the UP police helpless or is it complicit? Today, we focus on the illegal guns of Uttar Pradesh.
That's right. India's most populous state is also India's #1 state when it comes to the gun culture. Let me just give you one fact. More private people in UP have guns than the police. Hello and welcome. You're watching the News Unlocked, where we unlock the news and turn the spotlight on the real news stories beyond the headlines. And we turn the spotlight on Uttar Pradesh's notorious and dangerous gun culture that seems to get worse by the day. Now, despite India having one of the most stringent gun laws in the world, the fact is the number of guns available on the ground only seem to be increasing. This month of July has seen several cases of murders and kidnapping in Uttar Pradesh. After the abductions in Kanpur and Gonda caught the national headlines last week, today another child was kidnapped in Uttar Pradesh's Gorakhpur district. The kidnappers have killed the 14-year-old teen after demanding a ransom of 1 crore from his family. His body was recovered this evening. The Gorakhpur SSP saying the police swung into action after getting the information. They nabbed the kidnappers on Sunday night itself, but during interrogation they disclosed that they killed the boy soon after the kidnapping. Remember, not long back, Bihar's Munger region was known for the manufacture of illegal guns. But over the last few years, the trade has slowly shifted to Western UP and Meerut in particular. This has become the new hub in the country of illegal small firearms, manufacturing them close to the national capital. And the incidents of the past month have brought the focus back on the state's trigger-happy criminals. On the News Unlocked, let's take a look at the gun culture of Uttar Pradesh.
On the night of 26th of July in Hodalpur village of Kasganj, Uttar Pradesh, 3 members of a family were shot dead and 1 critically injured. The crime, a fallout of a past feud. Eyewitnesses say over 30 rounds were fired between both parties.
दोनों पक्षों के बीच में पुरानी रंजिश की बात आ रही है। पिछले साल एक मुकदमा दर्ज हुआ था, उसी के परिप्रेक्ष्य में ये घटना प्रतीत होना लग रहा है। अभी इसकी विवेचना चल रही है।
7 people have been arrested by the Kasganj police in connection with the case.
में एक घर के 3 लोगों की हत्या कर दी। अपराधी आए, धनाधन गोलियों से बारिश कर दी। बारिश करके 3 लोगों को मौत के मुंह चला गया, 2 लोग गंभीर रूप से घायल हो गए। ये अपराधियों का प्रदेश हो गया क्या? जंगल राज हो गया? हत्या प्रदेश हो गया? कहां है पुलिस? कहां है प्रशासन? कहां है सरकार? कोई खौफ है कि नहीं है? उत्तर प्रदेश में रह रहे हैं कि हम किसी जंगल राज में रह रहे हैं?
The incident comes barely days after the brazen killing of a journalist in Uttar Pradesh's Ghaziabad. Vikram Joshi, a journalist, was attacked in Ghaziabad. Joshi was on a motorcycle with his 2 daughters when a group of men stopped him, rained blows and dragged him around. And then they shot him in the head.
गली से निकले थे, उन्होंने गाड़ी ढकेल दी थी नीचे, हम दोनों हमें साइड कर दिया था और पापा को नीचे ढकेल के मारने लगे और एक ने गोली चला दी सीधे और फिर पापा बेहोश हो गए और फिर मुंह से थोड़ा खून भी निकला.
The reason for the attack appeared to be a complaint that Joshi's family had lodged with the police against people who were harassing his niece. Later, the journalist succumbed to his injuries.
जंगल राज कायम हो गया उत्तर प्रदेश में। ये जंगल राज नहीं तो और क्या है। कभी पत्रकारों की हत्या होती है, पुलिस वालों की हत्या होती है, आम आदमी की हत्या होती है। उत्तर प्रदेश अपराधियों का चारागाह बन गया है।
It is ironic that opposition parties are raising questions about the state of law and order in Uttar Pradesh because the current government boasts of a zero tolerance for crime motto that it has adopted as a departure from the so-called jungle raj of the past.
Now, in December 2019, President Ramnath Kovind gave his nod to an amendment to the 6-decade-old Arms Act to effectively curb crimes committed by using illegal firearms in the wake of a spurt in illegal arms smuggling. But the truth is that hasn't put a brake on the illegal arms trade in Uttar Pradesh. Take a look at our next report on the News Unlocked.
Till a few years ago, Munger in Bihar used to be the hub of illegal pistols. But now, only the parts come from Bihar, and country-made guns are manufactured in Uttar Pradesh's Meerut, just 70 kilometers away from Delhi. Ahead of the Republic Day this year, Delhi Police's special cell bust an illegal firearms factory in Meerut and arrested 2 men allegedly involved in an interstate racket of illegal arms supply. During the bust, police recovered 60 fully finished semi-automatic pistols along with unfinished firearms. More recently, such illegal arms factories have been busted in different parts of Uttar Pradesh, where they have existed and flourished for years now.
Availability of illicit weapons, country-made weapons, should be checked. Villages, towns, they are full of country-made weapons. There is a culture that everybody wants a license for a pistol, revolver, licensed weapon, but it's difficult to get in the country. So when they don't get it, they keep it for their safety. Some people, it's a culture, it's known thing in villages.
However, despite repeated raids by cops, such illegal gun factories continue to operate, as it takes just 3,000 rupees to assemble a country-made pistol.
There are nexuses and economic nexuses, political nexuses, criminal nexuses, and I can say even of police nexuses. Because for so many preventive actions, police needs weapons. And there are so many places, in especially in UP, years of years, they are center of illegal weapon trading.
Citing recent investigations of Delhi police, a report says that illegally manufactured semi-automatic pistols are sold off via gun runners in Delhi NCRs. Most of them are sold between 20,000 to 25,000. The country-made pistols, which can fire only 1 round, can be bought in areas such as Shamli, Meerut and Muzaffarnagar at a mere 3,000 in the black market.
Are a generation ahead of all the intelligence and defy all intelligence inputs and succeed in sending weapons not only to the remote corners of the country but also to the state capitals and also to the national capital. As you would have seen, the sensational recoveries of arms coming from Bihar in Delhi itself. It would require a concerted action, as we have in case of drugs, that there is a dedicated team to work against those who are working in clandestine operation and smuggling of illegal weapons, both factory-made and country-made.
According to available Ministry of Home Affairs data, as on 31st December 2016, India had a little over 33.69 lakh active gun licenses, out of which Uttar Pradesh topped the list of states with active gun licenses with a whopping 12.77 lakh people authorized to carry weapons, followed by a militancy hit Jammu and Kashmir coming a distant second, where 3.69 lakh people possessed arms licenses.
Okay, I'm joined now by a special guest. I'm joined by A.L. Banerjee, former DGP UP, because we want to understand, Mr. Banerjee, why there is such a flourishing small arms culture in the state of Uttar Pradesh. Now, let me put that fact again to you, sir. Some 13 lakh private people have guns in Uttar Pradesh, far more than policemen. What does that say? Why is it so easy to get a gun today in UP?
In fact, Rajdeep, if you look at it, the total number of licensed weapons which are of non-prohibited bore are the largest in the country, about 33 lakhs in the country, of which more than about a third are from in UP. Now, the issue is that this is a rural area, was a rural area, now gradually urbanizing, but this was a feudal area. And in a feudatory state, in a feudal place, having a weapon is a masculine must. People keep weapons if they can, and they will go to any lengths, including selling their land, even women if possible, to get a weapon. There are cases of people going barefoot but slinging a gun on their shoulders, a licensed gun at that. In case that is not available, you see, if you look at the map of UP, you will find out that gun culture has developed in a very different fashion in different areas. When UP was made, at that time, it was prone to dacoity. The Bundelkhand region and the Chambal region were full of dacoits, and there was a gun culture there. But subsequently, in the northeast, Gorakhpur and surrounding areas, when the railway thekas were being given out, the railway contracts were being given out, a large gun culture developed there. Subsequently, a fast-moving crime developed in the western Uttar Pradesh, where today, unfortunately, a large number of weapons, unlicensed weapons, are available. Similarly, if you look at and then when the Punjab Khalistan terrorism came in, then the entire Tarai area became flush with these people.
Sir,
so where are the places where...
No, I'm sorry to sort of intervene. It's a very interesting genealogy that you're giving of, or geography of gun culture of Uttar Pradesh, but as a top cop of UP, you sound very helpless. What can we do? It's a feudal culture out there. People want guns. It's a sign of a macho identity. So what is the police doing? We might as well not have the police then.
You see, the point is that though Article 14 of the Constitution says that the police can reasonably restrict, the state can reasonably restrict a person keeping a weapon. But once it becomes a culture, like it is in Uttar Pradesh, of which there is no doubt, people would like to get hold of a licensed weapon. And there is no way out but to give them a licensed weapon, but give people a licensed weapon. They come with such things. They'll come with fake FIRs. They'll come with fake attacks on them. And then they will get it from Nagaland, from J&K. There are certain states. In fact, the CBI has charged people from J&K for issuing licenses all across India.
Mr. Banerjee, is the police helpless or is it complicit? No. Because the sense I get, correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. Just a minute. I get a sense that this is part of a wider nexus that now exists between criminals, some of whom have become politicians. There are criminals who used to use these guns who today are politicians. There are politicians, in a sense, who then give these orders to the police. There is the caste angle in Uttar Pradesh, where you have caste armies also at times. I want to understand, do you agree that this is a nexus, therefore, which is impossible to break? What does the cop do if the politician, till the other day who was a criminal, is now a neta?
You see, if there is a person who has a criminal background, then he will not be given a license by Uttar Pradesh, definitely. But these people, some of them, they acquire them from other states. And when you go out, and I have done that personally, I have found out a large number of people who've got their licenses from Mumbai, from Nagaland, got it checked. And when we went to the court withdrawing the license, the courts have given orders saying that they can retain the licenses. And since then, they have retained licenses. The only time we could withdraw those licenses was during the elections. Just before the elections.
There are factories of small. Sir, there are factories of small unlicensed guns that are flourishing across Western UP. I mean, that's, so where is the police? You know, Yogi Adityanath said, I'm coming to power and I'm going to get law and order right. What he's done is he's ensured a series of encounters. Now, outside the encounters, what do you do to the root of the problem, which is the gun culture?
Rajdeep, the root of the gun culture, or to root this out, there's only one way. We will have to go back to basic policing. And basic policing calls for a very tough job. One of them is finding out or having criminal intelligence. Unfortunately, today, the police network of informers, the police network of criminal intelligence has fallen to disuse. This has to be restored to be able to counter this gun culture.
Is it that, Mr. Banerjee, or is it that the policeman at the local thana is at the end of the day hand in glove with the small-time local gangster? Let's be honest. You cannot run away from the fact that that is part of the problem.
I'm not saying that that is not part of the problem, but what I'm saying is that the bigger picture is that until and unless we have basic policing, we know where they are getting their weapons from, where they are getting their things from, how they are assembling them, who is assembling them. If we don't have this intelligence, we'll never be able to act on
Sir, come on. Mr. Banerjee, are you telling me that the police at the local level doesn't know how this is happening? The truth is, let's accept it, that there is a Mili Bhagat, to use the word, between the police, the local criminal and the local politician. This is a flourishing parallel structure that has now become mainstream. That's all. So how is a Yogi Adityanath or anyone going to change it when they are products of that same culture?
No policeman worth his or her salt would like a gun culture to flourish under him or her. But what I said is that we lack basic policing. We have to find these things out. Unfortunately, because of a huge spate of work, probably this thing has gone into disrepute. This is not being utilized.
Okay.
We have to go back to finding out how this is happening, and we have to go at it hammer and tongs.
So you're saying this is a failure of policing. Let me just
saying that.
Let me press a pause button. Okay, let me press a pause button for a moment, and I want you to see this, because this package we've done. Uttar Pradesh is not a new arena for instances of gun violence. In fact, the state police too has been accused of being trigger happy, particularly in Yogi Adityanath's rule. A little over a week ago, remember, the Vikas Dubey case brought the harsh reality of UP's gun culture and the manner in which the encounter Raj was being carried out. Take a look.
Days after, well-known UP criminal Vikas Dubey killed 8 policemen in a gunfight, the Uttar Pradesh police left no stone unturned to dig out his secret stash of weapons. Questions were raised as to how a well-known history sheeter had been successful in amassing weapons. Involvement of the police have also been questioned.
It's a bizarre example of gun culture in a state that criminal like Vikas Dubey have not only obtained gun license, even after having more than 60 cases against him, he also flaunted it openly in the public. This also shows that how criminals like Vikas Dubey turn so dreaded with the support of system in Uttar Pradesh.
But less than a week later, the Uttar Pradesh police came across a permanent solution to a nagging problem. Vikas Dubey was gunned down by the police as he was being brought to Kanpur from Madhya Pradesh. The police claimed he was attempting to flee and had to be shot. Now, with the courts questioning the police action, the spotlight is back on the ground realities of what is called Uttar Pradesh's gun culture.
So as you saw in that story, and we've seen it with the Vikas Dubey murder, Mr. Banerjee, that this gun culture, to stop it, give me one thing that you would do. If you today were to give one piece of advice to someone who genuinely wants to stop it, what would that advice be? Where would you start in stopping this gun culture? In the last week, we've seen ransoms, we've seen kidnappings, we've seen kidnappings for ransoms, murders shooting up, and we've seen encounter Raj. What is your solution? Give me a solution.
Rajdeep, I'll give them three solutions. One, instant solution. The other, a tactical solution, which will give results in, say, about a month, month and a half. And third, a long-term solution, which will be there to stay. The instant solution will be go out, search, locate, and destroy. Destroy the weapons, get hold of the guy, and put him inside. Do that for the next 15 days. You will definitely come across something good. The other thing would be to utilize the new Arms Act and just ensure that your criminal intelligence is working. You go around and find out what is happening and put a stop to that once and for all. You use the weight of law, you use whatever you have at your disposal, stop that.
Okay.
The long term would be to sit down and decide, now that you have so many licensed weapons, now that you have so many unlicensed weapons, would you like to continue with those licensed weapons or not? Like, say, for example, in New Zealand, what happened is that Jacinda Ardern, she bought back all the weapons from the people after the mosque shooting. Similarly, probably there is it is a lesson for us. We have to get back these weapons, and we have to stop the show of the weapons during any celebrations. The government is very strict about it, but it has been happening, unfortunately.
Let me ask you, therefore, in conclusion, do you think anyone really has the will to end the gun culture? Let's call a spade today, sir, that the political class of Uttar Pradesh, irrespective of parties today, has benefited from these gun culture. They've used these criminal gangs to settle scores at the personal level. And now it's a monster that you can't control. That's the reality. Why not accept it? And the police keep getting transferred. I've got the record for the number. Look at the number of police officers at different levels who get transferred in Uttar Pradesh. It's by far the highest in the country. So you've got a demoralized, disincentivized police force, and you've got a criminalized political class. Where does that leave? Is there an incentive for anyone to change this gun culture?
You have to ingrain this into their training. You have to put this as the first thing that they have to do when they reach a place of posting. One of the most vital things they have to do, and this can be done, this can be achieved. You see, we have got hold of a large number of weapons across the years. We took care of the Khalistan terrorism in the Tarai area, where a lot of weapons had come in. They have all been secured. They've all been found out by the police.
Right.
This too can be done. This too can be done. It only needs somebody to take the bull by the horns. It has to happen.
Somebody to take the bull by the horns. That's the million-dollar question. Who will take the bull by the horns? If many believe that people themselves have risen to the top, riding on those very bulls. Thanks very much, Mr. Banerjee, for joining me here on the News Unlocked, raising the issues that need to be raised. News without the noise. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.